Hi, I'm Chris and we're at the ReCyclery Canberra. We're a cooperative bike workshop where we take unused, unloved, donated bicycles, upcycle them and get them back out into the community. We're also an open workshop where you can come and make use of our tools and our experience and learn to keep your own bike maintained or help us fix unloved bicycles. This provides a much more affordable option for people. And yeah, look, the longer we can keep a bike going, the better minimise our environmental impact, keep things out of landfill is our mission. If you're lacking a little bit of confidence to get your daily commutes on a bicycle going, it might help to know your bicycle a little bit better, what's on it and how it works. We're just gonna run through that on my bike today. You might start with the drivetrain. So that encompasses all the parts that make you go forwards when you're pedaling. The number one maintenance task on your bike will be keeping the chain clean and lubricated. A well-maintained drivetrain will be relatively quiet. You may hear a small amount of noise, but it will be relatively quiet if set up correctly. A poorly set up drivetrain will have louder noises, potentially rust or other dirt on the chain. This will cause you to have poor shifting performance, make the riding difficult, and wear your bike out much faster. To prevent that, you want to keep the drivetrain area, especially the chain, clean and lubricated. It's a quick and simple process that, if you are commuting daily, should be performed once a week. The first step will clean the chain. If the chain is moderately clean, as this one is, all you'll need to do is take a dry rag to the chain and wipe off any excess on the outside. If the chain is more heavily greased or dirty, you may wish to use a small amount of a degreasing agent on the chain. Spray a small amount all the way around the chain, let that settle itself in, and then wipe off to clean. You will then want to re-lubricate the chain with a bike-specific chain lube. If you don't have any bike-specific chain lube, you can make do with other forms of lubricant, but if you are intending to commute often, please do go to your local bike store and grab a chain-specific lube. The only parts of the chain that actually need lubrication are inside the rollers and pins. So we'll be getting one drop on each of those. You don't have to be meticulous about it. If you get 2 drops on one link or miss a link, it's not the end of the world. Once we've gotten 1 drop on every link all the way around the train, we'll let the lubricant settle and work its way into the rollers by turning the cranks a few times. Once it's worked its way in, we then wipe off the excess on the outside of the chain. The outside of the chain does not need to be lubricated. There'll always be a small film left over. This is good, it'll prevent the chain from rusting. Next we have the brakes. There are 2 main types of brakes on adults' bikes. Those would be rim brakes. The other would be disc brakes. An Australian setup bike will have the front brakes in the right hand and the rear brakes in the left hand. All bikes need to have at least 1 brake to be compliant with Australian law. 2 brakes are better. A well set up rim brake will allow the wheel to spin freely with an even gap on both sides. On a rim brake system, when pulling the lever of the brakes, the brake pads are forced into contact with the rim, applying friction to stop the bike. The brake pads can wear down over time and will need to be replaced periodically. Some other things to keep in mind with the brakes are that the pads are correctly aligned with the wheel. If you are not getting a strong braking force, this could be one of the reasons. Also make sure that the wheel is tightly fastened to the bicycle and that there is no play within the hub or the frame. The other place to check for play and movement is in the headset area. You can do that by putting on the front brake and rocking the bike backwards and forwards. You should not feel any play in these areas. It should be relatively rigid. If you're not sure of how to fix these things, come down to the ReCyclery and we can help you. We try to empower people with skills, knowledge, confidence and tools to get the job done themselves and to be able to maintain their bikes independently. Cycling is a cheap and fossil-free method of transport, and hopefully we're going to make you feel more empowered and comfortable getting on board. I hope you've learned something. We'll see you out there on the path.